What's going on this week in Nerf?
Welcome to This Week in Nerf, your source for first-party, third-party, and community Nerf news. I'm Adriana, and I hope that everybody is happy and healthy and ready to see the news for this week. There feels like there is a lot, so here we go. Last week we talked about how FoamFest UK was cancelled, but it is coming back to life as an online event for the second time, which allows all of the community to get involved no matter where you live. FoamFest Live is a ton of fun. Last year was an absolute blast and brought some much needed community connection during that time. We talked about clubs and shops and modding, painting, designing, playing. Basically every aspect of the Nerf hobby had some kind of representation at the online convention. And it was just as much fun to be in the chat as it was to be presenting a segment. And even better, it's such a giving event, and they're continuing to be a giving event. Last year, they raised over £5,000 for charity, hoping to do as much, if not more, this year. This year's charity is Papyrus, which supports young people who are struggling with suicide. So while I'm on that subject, if you're under 35 and in the UK and thinking of suicide, call the number that's in the description. That's the Hopeline UK, and they can help you find some support. And for more on FoamFest Live, follow the FoamFest UK Facebook page for updates on scheduling and how you can be involved with the event. Brow of Brass shared a super compact and collapsible cover design that looks pretty cool. It's made of thrifted bed sheets, a little bit of PVC, and folding tent poles. The tent poles are the least accessible portion of the design, but I found them on AliExpress for just $10 in a really quick search. So that's not too bad. And PVC is super cheap, and sheets from Goodwill are a really clever solution instead of really expensive new fabric. And these things are so small when they're collapsed. I'm a little bit jealous. My bag of PVC for my club is freaking massive, and even the pop-up changing tents that a lot of people use take up more space than this does. This is a really cool design. He posted photos and the different materials that are needed and a little bit of his plans, so hopefully we can see some of those replicated in upcoming events later this year. We now have a look at the Dyno Squad Rex Rampage Internals, thanks to Corvylith on Instagram. This really shows how easy the blaster is to disassemble. It actually has screws and pops open like a clamshell. I really like that it looks like you can remove the scope and replace it with something else pretty easily. I think that people will end up making a lipo box out of that or something similar, since the battery tray seems to be slightly more difficult than a Raven if we were to do a battery replacement. It has a somewhat close to a Strife style pusher, semi-auto blaster obviously. The flywheel cage appears to be like the Elite 2.0 turbines, but it's half screwed in. At least there's no clips. And there will very likely be upgrade cages very soon from Buff Daddy. He's eagerly awaiting his own blaster so he can get started on that. The Spectrum is a really well-performing flywheeler from Dart Zone, but is also a very strange design. It's got a long, chonky barrel and a folding front grip, and just overall looks odd. But now that it's back in stock at Walmart, finally, Big Mac Daddy 73 made a huge kit of upgrades for the blaster. He's shortened the barrel and given it an end strike adapter, so if you please, you can put whatever front barrels you like on it, or just chop it off and leave off the big chunky thing on the front. He also has a selection of top rails. They can be compatible with Nerf, or Picatinny, or Adventure Force, and just be a little bit longer. A really great option. And the bottom grip is also available in this pack in two different versions. There's a skinny one and a chunky one. And all of this is available for free to print on Thingiverse. So that's an awesome addition to this pretty cool blaster. Thanks for sharing that. Now it's time for Rapid Strikes! The Alpha Strike Hammerstorm was released in yellow, but Drizzle spotted a blue version at Target. It's still probably one of the most visually interesting blasters in the budget Alpha Strike line. Caliburn maker Captain Slug announced lead times will shrink in February. The reason why is best described in this Discord post from the man himself. Friendship with day job ended. Nerf is my new best friend. Going full-time is a huge step, and we wish him nothing but good luck and continued success. Last week, I guessed that the Fortnite Pump SG was a front-loaded blaster, but I was wrong. An overview from Nerf Taiwan shows it is breech-loaded. A little odd that the door doesn't automatically retract when you prime back, but at least now we know. Foam Pro Shop has a very high-end holster for the Dart Zone MK2. $170, and you could own a holster that's handmade in the United States by Warlander Enterprises, made from real leather. They're serialized and available in left or right-handed configurations. And while we're talking about these works, if you like knives and leather, check out Warlander's website. She makes really beautiful products. A listing is on Walmart for the Nerf Ultra Scream Machine. That is a crazy name, and I hope the blaster will be cool enough to back it up. Whatever it is, it'll be $35. I'm hoping that's at least something high capacity to just really fling the screamer darts. That'd be fun. Dart Zone filed a new trademark application this week, Dart Zone Max. Of course, everything other than the name itself is rampant speculation, but I think it sounds like a new line. Possibly something similar to Mega? We'll have to wait and see. We have a couple of new nuggets about the mysterious Hyperline. This Amazon listing for Hyper 200 round refill shows a price of £27. After conversion and calculations, that is 18 cents per round, and that seems a little expensive for an ammo type that is, quote, designed for speed and capacity. There are still no specifics on what the innovative design and material are, but it is now 100% confirmed to be used in Hyper Blaster hoppers. Hopefully we learn more in February when, Toy Fair would normally take place. Good news for our friends in the Great White North, the Nexus Pro is now available in Canada. DJ Nobility showed off his new purchase in Alberta for $40 Canadian. And I guess the price makes up for the wait because that is cheaper than the US even after currency conversion. That's a little odd for Canada. But now we just have to cross our fingers and hope for a wider international release. Come on, Dart Zone, you can do it. I believe in you. The Dart Zone Pro half-length darts should also arrive in Canada within the first half of the year. Unfortunately, there's nothing more specific than that. And while we're talking about the Nexus, Dart Zone has listed several accessories on their website. There's a replacement stock for $13, sights for $10, but more importantly, if you prefer the Nexus Pro magazines over other options, they are finally available on their own for a reasonable price. It's a 3-pack of magazines for $30. A half-length adapter is also available for $10, and that fits the Nexus, the Aeon, the Mark 1, and the Mark 1.1. And now it's time for the mod of the week, and this week it goes to Adams Corporation for this M-Not 2100. This is a Hotshock transformed into a rear-loading 3-dart inline clip. It's inspired by Hotcoin's rear-loading Jolt, and it looks pretty cool. The exposed sheet metal isn't a look that we see often, especially alongside 3D printed parts, but I feel like it actually really fits for some reason. I love that the loading door has an actual hinge on it, and the spring-powered lock ensures it is not going to open accidentally. It's not often that I see a blaster that's simultaneously this well thought out and this random. It seems to perform pretty well too. He claims to get the same ranges as the Mark II, which is pretty good. And it's fun to look at. Thanks so much for sharing it. And that is all the news for this week. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, the links to everything that I talked about are down in the description, along with all of the YouTube things that I talk about every single week. Like button, subscribe button, comments, blah 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 blah. You guys know how the internet works. I should just trust that you know how the internet works, but metrics show that saying to do the things makes you do the things. It's weird. Anyway, I hope everyone has a lovely day. I'll see you next week, Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on this channel that you have subscribed to because I told you to because of YouTube things. Yes. Yeah, that'll do.